This is Kingdom Kommerce, and today's episode starts now.
Welcome back to this episode of Kingdom Kommerce, where we do commerce the kingdom way. I am one of your hosts, Cooper Peterson, joined by co-host, the Red Rocket.
Thank you, Cooper.
Luke Reichbost. And we have a special guest with us today, the one and only Travis Smith.
Thanks for having me, guys.
He started several businesses, which have been successful, and he's going to tell us a little bit about that today, so we're excited to hear from him. He's a Cedarville grad, was on the track team, so we got a lot in common. Sorry, Luke.
It's okay.
And, and yeah, we're just ready to hear about his story and then some of the practical things he's picked up along the way.
Sure.
So let's start off a little bit with who you are. Now, you graduated Cedarville in 2009.
When dinosaurs roamed the earth.
When dinosaurs roamed the earth.
A hot second ago.
Yeah.
That's not, that's only like 15
yeah,
years.
Exactly. Yeah, as soon as you say it, you're like, oh my God.
And so, but the crazy thing about it is you started your first business in 2010.
Correct.
And that was a successful business. So let's hear about it. It's called VIP Waste Services. Can you give us a little bit?
Sure, man.
Tell us that story.
Yeah, VIP was kind of born out of my laziness, quite frankly. So my best friend in college, Jesse Lear, who you guys probably know, we were roommates in Columbus, and we were both door-to-door salesmen at Wow Cable. There's a cable company there, local one at the time. And when you're roommates, you kind of split up responsibilities. You're like, all right, Jesse would do like the washing dishes or whatever, but I would have to take out the trash. And what would happen is that instead of me just taking the trash out, like I would like pile it up on the balcony, and I just keep piling it up until like it has to go out.
So you lived in Lawler?
Basically, yeah. Okay. I did live in Lawler for a little bit. I lived in Brock.
I heard the balcony. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, the balcony gets kind of rough there, but yeah. So I would pile it up on the balcony at our apartment, and then finally take it out like every couple of weeks. And one day I just was looking at it because it was snowing outside, and I'm just like, bro, like, there's got to be a company that'll come pick this up.
And we're in Ohio at this, right? You're in Ohio.
Yeah,
at this
I'm in
point.
Ohio.
So all the Ohioans and above, you guys know these winters are
they're brutal.
rough. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to leave your house, let alone take the trash out when it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy, man. But yeah, so I was just staring at it like, and I was like, bro, I got to take it out. It's like mounding, you know what I mean? And what happened was, I said, is there a company that would do this? And so I go on Google to try to figure that out. And I'm like, there's no company that will pick this up, but it's a service that everybody would need. I want it. I mean, you see people driving their car, putting this stuff on top of their car, trying to take it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And some people even send their kids to go to the dumpster. And the kids, as kids, they don't throw it in the dumpster. They throw it at the dumpster. So it's like a mess always around it.
Yeah.
Actually, funny story. If you guys are running to Jesse, you should make him tell you. But one time he was taking the trash out for whatever reason. I don't know if I was out of town or whatever, but he put the trash on top of his car because he completely forgot.
Oh no!
and so he pulls out on the main road and the trash just falls off and explodes in the middle of the road.
Oh, Lord.
It was crazy. He was like traumatized, but you got to pull over and try to get as much as you can. You get the ticket
without getting hit.
Without getting hit. Yeah. Oh, dude, the similar thing happened to us when we were doing one of our routes with VIP because we put the recycling and trash bags on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And we didn't have them tied down good one time.
Oh no.
Yeah. And a couple of them flew off the back and exploded in the middle of the freeway.
Oh my
Yeah,
word.
it was. I think I'm telling on myself. Hopefully, no like traffic cops or something like
You're
that.
that guy.
You're that guy.
I remember you.
Yeah, I'll have a ticket on my door when I get home. But anyway, when I looked for a company that was signed, to come pick up the trash, couldn't find one. But I did find a company that was in the South that would do it. Like in Florida and California, like just sunny Sunbelt states.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this is like a business idea, but they're just not doing it here. So I told Jesse, I was like, look, man, like we should do this type of business. And at the time, he was working on some of his other online business projects, working on some things. And a couple weeks go by, and the trash piled up again, of course. And I was just like, bro, we gonna do this trash thing or what? And he's like, look, man, if you're serious about it, I'll jump in with you.
That's awesome.
So literally at that moment, I grabbed my phone. I called the property manager at our apartment complex, and I'm like, hey, we have this idea for this trash company. We want to tell you about it. Like, it's picking up stuff at the door. And she's like, all right, like, we're straight out of college, right? So
Yeah.
we're not professional at all. And she's like, all right, well, come over and like, you can talk to me. I got like 15 minutes, you can talk. So I get off the phone. I was like, Jesse, we got a meeting in 15 minutes, real with the property manager.
That's awesome.
And so he flips open the laptop. We make a really quick PowerPoint presentation about the idea, and our two, never forget this, bro. Our two pictures, like, of the owners of the company, was me and him on the beach. Like, it was like shirts off, because those were the best pictures we had of each other. Right? So it was completely like a joke, but we went to her office, and crazy thing, man, she literally laughed us out of the office.
Oh man.
Yeah, she was like, "This is a terrible idea. Like, nobody would do this." And we were like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, like," she's like, "We try to stop people from putting their trash on their door. Why would I want you to put their people put their trash on their door? This is horrible."
So like, I do it.
yeah. Like, well, I don't put my door. I put it on the balcony. So like,
It's close.
It's close enough. Yeah, exactly. So she was like, "It's a bad idea," and then we were like, "No, dude, this is a great idea. We're gonna prove it to you." And no joke, man. Like that, her reaction was really what kind of spurred us a little bit, because we knew in our heart it was great. And so from that moment, we were just like, all right, bro, we gotta be a legit company. So, you know, at the time we just went on a legal Zoom because we didn't know how to form a company on our own. We didn't know all the stuff. So went on there, got an LLC, and then we were just like, okay, well, where are the people who make these type of decisions for apartments? Where do they, you know, the owners and the managers and stuff like that, where do they hang out? So we joined the apartment association in town. Didn't have, obviously, a client, didn't have a truck, didn't have anything. We were just like, let's sign up for the next event and show up to it.
That's cool.
And that's what we did. We just showed up and made some little business cards on, what was it, like 99 Designs or something like that. And yeah, bro, like we just showed up and started pitching the idea. And, you know, just God's timing and God's provision, really, because our first client was the biggest management company in Central Ohio.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Crazy,
Wow.
right? And he literally told us, he was like, the reason why I gave you guys a shot, because he gave us one property to do at first.
Yeah.
He's like, I just saw myself in you guys. He's like, you guys are willing to get dirty and do trash. He was like, I literally, bro, that first property, he let us do, it was like 250 units. We were doing 5 nights a week, trash and recycling pickup, and he only gave us $1,000.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But it was just for the opportunity. We were excited to do it. And
was that $1,000 for a month?
for a whole month.
Okay.
Yeah. And we had to buy a truck. So remember, we didn't have a truck. So we had to go buy a truck and like risk it all, basically, to freaking get that contract done. And after that meeting, he was just like, you know what? I like the idea. I like what you guys are doing. We'll roll it out to all our properties. So
That's insane.
And we're personal friends with those owners to this day.
So you mentioned you went ahead and graduated college briefly, and you had
Barely.
within the year. You then ended up starting this business. But what were you in college? What did you graduate with, and what did your partner graduate with for the majors, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, we both were marketing majors. Business marketing. I actually started off as a computer science major my freshman year. Shouts out to Dr. Schomper. I don't know if he's still here or not, but Dr. Gallagher is one of my guys too. Yeah, so I started there, and what ended up happening was, just as being an athlete, I just couldn't keep up with like the rigor, like especially in the math class and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I got through, you know, C++ and, you know, digital design and stuff like that, but I just couldn't keep up with the math, guys. I used to have to live in the lab, bro.
Yeah.
And so I ended up, you know, talking to my advisors, like, well, maybe you should go to be an information systems major. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'll go do the business department. This is like much easier math.
Yeah.
Even though, like, low key, I kind of struggle with the stats too. Like, it was,
You just need college algebra. That's it.
well,
Stats and other ones, those classes are still hard, but like you don't need calculus. You don't
there
need
you
others.
go. Exactly. Differential equations, things like that. Actually, one of my buddies tested out a DFQ, man, like
What?
in freshman year. No joke.
That's insane.
Dang.
My brother's the math guy. I could not keep up. He took all those crazy. He's a math major, and I'm just like, I don't know if we're brothers, man.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
You've got all of those genes, and I clearly don't have any.
I'll do the business,
Exactly.
you do the math. All right.
Right. Well, you got the brawn, he got the brains. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So it ended up, but I was double majoring in information systems and marketing. Once I got into the business department, and then my senior year, I needed to stay one more semester to finish the capstone for the information systems.
Okay.
And I was just like, bro, like, I'm not staying another year, dog. Like,
I'm not paying more
I'm not
money.
paying another. Yeah, I mean, I was on scholarship, but like, I would have had to pay, like, you know what I mean, to do that extra class. And I just ain't do it. So I can still come back and get, if I want to get an information systems degree, I can come back and get that one class probably. But yeah, who knows?
Cool.
That's crazy. You were a marketing major, and then you found yourself starting a waste pickup company, VIP Waste Services.
Were you entrepreneurial?
What do you mean?
Like, were you like, oh, I'm gonna start my own business someday? Like,
Oh,
when
that's a
you
good
coming out of college, like, or
Yeah.
in college?
So kind of my background is really from my mom, because she was a business professor
Mhm.
Okay.
at the small college in my hometown in Florida. And so she always like kept us, me and my brothers and sisters, doing entrepreneurial stuff, like going, like, sitting in some of the business classes. And she was big on network marketing at the time. Not giving any shade to it or supporting it. What I mean? It's legitimate business as long as it's not a pyramid scheme. But network marketing, it's so funny because I tried network marketing for a while. And the company was a good company. They're still in business and they do a lot of good stuff. But I just couldn't hack it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's as far as businesses are concerned, in my opinion, that's like one of the hardest type of businesses to grow. But if you can grow it, you can be wildly successful. And, it's funny. This is another funny story. We got time, right?
Oh, we
yeah.
have time.
Yeah. So Amway, you guys familiar with Amway?
Yeah.
Huge, billions of dollars, but it's a network marketing company.
Mhm.
And when I was in kindergarten, I know that is really truly what dinosaurs.
A hot second.
Yeah, I had a pet brontosaurus. It was kind of cool. But no, when Amway first came to Florida, there's a guy by the name of John Montgomery who came down to do like the pitch. And my mom took me with her to this was a family called the Hunts. They were colleagues of hers. And we went to their house and they gave the whole pitch or whatever like that. So I still remember John had a convertible. I had never seen a car without a roof before. And like if you got a convertible in in '92, you know what I mean? Like you were like legit. So at the end of the talk, obviously I don't really know what they're talking about, but I remember Amway and stuff like that.
Mhm.
At the end of the talk, I asked him, I was like, "Hey, can I ride in your convertible? Can I like get in?" He was like, "Well, you need to ask your mom." You know what I mean? The mom was like, "Yeah, he can take you home." So I jump in the car with him as we're going home. And I still remember him saying, "Hey, Amway's this great company. We're just getting started, and it's gonna be your mom's gonna be successful and all this type of stuff." And I still remember this to this day. And I was like, over the years, my mom and just other people in my family has tried Amway. They've done other things or like that, like jump from there. And I was like, "Mom, if you would have just stuck with Amway, like Amway had just started." Like think about because he was he knew the DeVos family, like he was from Michigan, like he came down to launch Florida.
Mhm.
Wow.
And it's one of those things. I think one of the lessons that I kind of took from that, because we always talk about with if you'd have just stuck with Amway, bro, we'd be just by osmosis being one of the first people in.
Yeah.
Like you'd be wildly successful. It's but as far as business is concerned, going deep on something is so important. Like because a lot of times we if something's not working immediately, we
Mhm.
give up
Yeah.
on it. And I remember I saw a meme or a graphic where it was this dude who was ticking away in the ground and he's trying to get to the gold.
Yeah.
And right before he got to the gold, he turns around and is all that. You know what I mean? Like I worked, it's taking too long, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? And of course somebody shows up and does 2 ticks and then the gold probably falls in their lap. But it's so important to go deep on whatever you're doing, because a lot of times it's the darkest right before you get your break.
Mhm.
And I just feel like we do things too shallow as a culture, as a lot of people, and they don't go hard in something to really give it a shot to be successful. So
Yeah, I got a question that stems off that. I asked Dr. Oberburner this actually earlier
yeah,
in one of our previous episodes, and I was wondering when you have a lot of opportunities that present themselves, how do you know which ones you need to say no to? Because what I've heard is you have, like you said, you have to go deep. You have to kind of go all in
Mhm.
Sure.
for something to succeed. How did you decide what to pursue or what to say no to?
yeah, it's a great question, man. I guess for me, I didn't have too many options, right? I didn't like being a door-to-door salesman. Surprise, surprise.
Never would have guessed.
Yeah, exactly. Are you trying to be a door-to-door salesman, man?
I could be.
You
never
could do
know.
it.
Yeah, you can do it.
Never
Yeah, people probably like you, so you probably be successful at it. But yeah, man, like, you know, it was cool. You learned a lot. I mean, I learned a ton about sales and about people and about just, you know, stick-to-itiveness and things like that. But that wasn't what I want to do for a living, right? Forever. So, you know, when this opportunity, this thing came about, it was like, yo, I'm gonna go all in because I don't have any other business ideas. You know, if you're super creative or whatever like that, and you got like 20 million business ideas, I would say the way you kind of whittle it down is by having mentors, you know, who are successful and kind of already walked down that path, and they should help you whittle that down. Because to your point, you can't, you can try, but nobody can do everything well. Because if it's worth doing, it's going to take time. It's going to take your energy. So, you know, you kind of, you know, hone in on what it's going to be, and go deep on that.
Yeah, people talk about pursuing your passion, but were you passionate about trash, or were you passionate about the process of making money and solving a problem?
I mean, I'm passionate about winning. I like winning. You know what I mean? So at the time, yes, I was passionate about trash. I didn't want to take trash out myself. So yeah, kind of, I was passionate about it. Which we kind of joked because it's like I didn't like taking the trash out, so we decided to take trash out for thousands of people instead. But
True.
Of course,
get paid to do what you hate.
There you go. Yeah, if you get paid to do it, then okay, sign me up. You know what I mean? You see, if Jesse would have kept paying, if he would just paid me to take out the trash, I probably would have never came up with VIP. But yeah, so I wasn't like wildly passionate about trash, but it was a great opportunity.
Yeah,
great. I mean, I enjoy business in general. I love deal making. I love negotiating. So those processes, you know, coming up with strategies to execute plans, like I like that type of stuff. So that part I love, and I still do. So that was kind of like the passionate part where you want to keep going just because it's, you know, you're getting paid for it, obviously, but it's fun. You know what I mean?
So I'm just remembering now, as you're mentioning Jesse again, I was able to talk to him some after the last pitch where he came. He was a judge.
Yeah.
And he mentioned how you would have meetings once a week, I think it was.
No, it was every day.
Every day?
In the beginning,
And if someone didn't show up to the meeting, there was a punishment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And most of the time he would win. I was getting punished a lot.
What'd you have to do?
You just got to buy the other person breakfast.
Yeah.
So
it still had some financial hurt.
Well, yeah. Well, dude, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to. Do you want to buy people breakfast?
Not as a door-to-door salesman.
Yeah, not as a door-to-door salesman, which we make good money, but still, like, you know, because they can get whatever they want. So, I'm going to get 3 sandwiches now.
Oh, no. I got lunch for later this afternoon.
There you go. Exactly.
Oh.
So, yeah, we would, so it was crazy, man. We were doing like 16-hour days for a long time because we would work on, so we had a little challenge, and I'm notoriously like not an early riser. So he kind of played the rules in his favor because he wakes up at 5 a.m. He doesn't care, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I have to go to bed at like 9, 10.
Yeah, exactly. And but I would still I would still stay up until, you know, midnight. Yeah. and then have to wake up.
The college life.
Basically, yeah. It didn't wear off at that point. But yeah, so we wake up, you know, we have to be at Panera at 8:30. Be there, not getting up at 8:30. You got to be there. And so if you're late, you have to buy breakfast. So we would work from Panera from 8:30 to noon on the business, like, you know, figuring out marketing, trying to figure out, you know, who our target markets were, where we're going to go, what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then in the afternoon, we would go knock doors because that's when people were starting to be home.
For your other job?
For the cable job, yeah.
Door-to-door salesman.
Yeah, because you don't knock doors in the morning, no one's there. So we would knock doors in the afternoon and then take a little break, and then we would start pickups at 8 p.m. That's when trash pickups start. Cause we pick up through overnight.
Yeah.
And it was just us two at the time, and so you do that until all the trash is gone. So it'd be midnight, you know, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever, and then park it. We've been doing the same thing the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. Nuts.
The grind, for
That's
real.
Crazy.
Hey, you know, it's funny, man. People don't see that part. You know what I mean? They see like at the end, like, oh man, you made it. But it's like, you ain't see the part when I'm dirty, got, you know, trash juice all over me, or it's snowing outside, or it's raining. Yeah. And you just got to get out the truck and just like run through the rain and pick up somebody's trash bags. You feel me? So, you know, I remember a quote is, you probably heard this quote. It's like, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Oh, yeah.
You ever heard that quote?
Yeah.
It's so true, man. Like, you know, you weren't there when I was eating ramen. You just see it at the end, you know what I'm saying? So
So then you and Jesse ended up selling VIP waste services, correct?
Yes.
And then after that, you went out on your own, and you're now an owner-operator of T&E Logistics.
Correct.
Can you go ahead and talk about that a little bit more for me?
Sure. So we sold VIP in 2018. Got a great deal for it, and learned a lot through that process. It's just there's levels to business, man. So we thought we pretty successful business owners,
Yeah.
But then you start meeting the guys, doing M&A, and then our advisors who helped us kind of facilitate the sale. And they were just saying words we didn't even know what they were, bruh. Like,
oh my word,
it was like, wait, what is that? Like, like EBITDA, wasn't it? EBITDA,
I don't see
what
that
is
in my
EBITDA?
business classes.
Right, exactly.
I didn't pay attention to finance.
They probably taught us, but I probably wasn't paying attention, man. Who knows? Yeah, but yeah, so like, we got through that process, which was awesome. Made a good exit, and then a couple years later, I started T&E Logistics, but it's kind of a backstory on that because in 2016, Amazon had came out with called the DSP program, it's like a delivery service provider, and it was an article on like USA Today. I was just like scrolling through on my laptop, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Let me click on this. What is this? So there was like, hey, Amazon partnering with local business owners to do logistics and that stuff like that, and I was like, well, we got a ton of employees. We got trucks and employees in 3 different states. Like, we know logistics. Like, we should like look into it. So, I asked Jesse, like, hey, bro, what do you think of this? He was like, yeah, like if you want to do that, go for it, bro. Like, I ain't really. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just sign up and do the little application. No joke, bro. I was sitting at my sister. She owned a makeup studio at the time. So I was at her studio because she was teaching a class or whatever. And the application, you click on something, you don't think how much commitment is going to be. The application is like 5 pages long, bro.
No.
Yeah, so I'm like,
they just roped you in.
Yeah. I think it's a
rest
weeding
of
out
your
process.
afternoon.
Dude, it was like no joke. It was like it took me like two hours to do this application because they're asking like really detailed questions. And so I'm filling it out, bro. And at the end, like I was like probably 1 page out, her internet drops. No, not even kidding. The internet drops. I like run to like, hey, yo, your internet, can you turn it back, get it back on? She's like, oh yeah, she had somebody run it back. I go back to my laptop, all my progress was gone.
No.
I'm not even, dude. I
That
almost
hurts.
quit. I was like, it's not. This is God telling me like, this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? But I ponied up and was just like, all right, well, I was like, I'm just sitting here waiting for her to get done with our class anyway, so like, I might as well do it over again.
At least then you knew what you were going to say.
Exactly. Well, actually, I cleaned it up, made it like a little more concise and stuff like that. So, but anyway, yeah. So like, I got it done, and forgot about it. This is in 2016, and so we still doing VIP, sell it, blah blah blah. In 2019, I get a call from Amazon saying, "Hey, you filled out this form, ages ago. We're interested in talking about you partnering with us to do this business, in Columbus." I'm like, I literally asked the dude, I was like, what form? What are you talking about? I literally forgot about it completely. And he explained to me what it was. He was like, oh yeah, like, well,
I guess I did fill that out.
yeah, I got time. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I mean, we went through the whole interview process and flying out to Vegas for their in person with some of their corporate folks and things like that. And yeah, so I got the contract with them, and we've kind of grown like just in our logistics offerings, not just Amazon, but like we've grown, just from that kind of foundation, able to do a whole bunch of things. So now we broker freight and we run freight for other people and
That's
stuff
awesome.
like that. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy, man.
I can't imagine the jump from doing waste services to then logistics. I know it's like you're still managing people and trucks and vehicles and everything, but still, it's a pretty drastic jump from waste pickup and recycling and trash in one industry to then dealing with high value freight and cargo in another.
Well, to piggyback off that,
Yeah, that's true.
what would you say were some of the lessons you learned from VIP Waste Services that helped you at T&E Logistics?
I mean, a couple of different things. First of all, like starting T&E was a lot easier because we had already started, grown, sold VIP.
Yeah.
So it was like by starting another business, it was like just old hat at that point, right? one thing I learned from doing VIP that we kind of took over to T&E was just making sure you compensate your people well.
Yeah.
Because you probably heard this expression, it's cheaper to keep her. Like you
Mhm.
heard that, but it's like it's cheaper to keep the people you already have.
Yeah.
It's expensive in time, energy, and money to have a revolving door, keep training
Right.
new people, keep doing all that type of. I mean, it's a headache.
Yeah.
So one thing that we made sure of is that we compensated our folks well, and we have people that have been there since the beginning. So still, like what I mean. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. I think that's just the right thing to do. Like what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like how you want somebody working for you, bro, and they can't barely pay rent,
Mhm.
and they come into your job every day.
Yeah.
So that was important. You pay them more than what maybe you even have to, but
Yeah.
you want the loyalty. So
Yeah. What would you say were some of the biblical principles that you applied to your businesses as a Christian?
so like stewardship is a big one. God blesses you with opportunities and
Mhm.
obviously resources and things like that.
Yep.
And I feel like it doesn't have to be you. He could have gave it to somebody else.
Right.
So that's a huge thing that we talk about all the time. It's like, man, it can be taken away too at any
Right.
moment. So
Right.
being a good steward of what you've been blessed with, is just so important, right? Because like in the parable of the talents,
Right.
the dude who didn't really do nothing with it, he's buried in the ground.
Yeah.
God's like, oh, I'm gonna take what I gave. I'm gonna take everything. I'm gonna take my stuff back and everything you got. Like, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're not doing something. So like, growing and making sure that you're not being wasteful.
Right.
Things like that is super important. So that's a big
Yeah.
principle.
It reminds me of what Scott says sometimes, where he said, like, I don't own
Mhm.
my business. God is actually the owner of my business,
Right.
and we're like just stewards of it.
Yep.
And as I'm a young entrepreneur. I hope to run a successful business one day. It's like I can see that as being a challenge. As success increases, there's probably a higher chance of wanting to be prideful and like wanting to like oh God, actually this is mine. This is not yours. It's like, has that been something to you? Like, how have you worked through that as you've become successful as an entrepreneur? How have you kind of kept yourself, I suppose, humble in the sight of the Lord and remind yourself that he's the giver and the taker?
Sure. So I mean, a couple of different things, man. That's a really good question. So I mean, first of all, like I'm still around people that aren't rich or whatever, like that
Yeah.
aren't business people. So I still keep similar network of just quote unquote regular people with regular jobs. You know what I mean? Like it's like you get reminded that hey man, you number one, everybody doesn't have it as good as you.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like again, it could be taken away. It didn't have to be you.
Yeah.
Even though obviously I worked very hard to get where I am and things
Obviously,
like that.
yeah,
But
of course.
opportunities.
Mm.
I mean, why did I even have that thought? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, and another thing about VIP, which is crazy timing. This is nuts when I tell you this, but at the same time we were starting VIP, because we obviously had the recycling and trash
Yeah.
recycling component.
Mhm.
The mayor of Columbus at the time was launching his recycling initiative for the city.
Wow.
That's perfect timing.
Perfect timing, bro. Like,
It
and
just
and it
lines
was
up.
and it was crazy because I remember because we've had our first meeting with him. He was like, "Dude, you guys are like a godsend." And we're just like, "What?" He's like, "Because people would call the mayor's office or whatever, and say, yes, you guys are rolling out recycling for the city, but what about people in apartments?" And he had nothing to tell them.
Wow.
He was like, we don't do apartments. We just doing city like
Yeah.
single family homes. And when we came about, he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna support you guys full force."
That's amazing.
And I mean, he wrote letters for us, and it was just a lot of support, man. It was like I said, God's timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How has throughout your journey with both VIP Waste Services and T&E Logistics been an opportunity for you to live out your faith with those that you've employed and just worked with?
Sure.
Especially being a Cedarville grad. I know the education being firsthand here at Cedarville hasn't changed much, I'm assuming,
Absolutely.
since when you came. But
Yeah. No, I mean the campus obviously is beautiful, and grown a ton, even
Yeah.
though you can actually wear what you have on to class, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I can wear shorts now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really like that. But like, you know, when you get older, like you want it to be rough for the younger generation, like it was rough for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro.
It's
Dr.
like
White,
your
if you're,
parents when they were like,
Dr. White,
walk
if you're
both
listening, man,
ways.
but reinstate dress code, please. Like,
Actually, I agree with that. I agree with
see,
that.
all right, yeah. Of course, you're graduating soon. So.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
All right. You don't have to live under those rules.
Now that I'm done, bring it back.
Yeah, now that I'm done. Yeah.
I had a year with it. No more.
Oh, you did get 1 year with it, with the dress code?
Yeah. 1 year where I could wear shorts, but I just felt like I just didn't feel like I was showing up for something
Yeah,
professional.
it's weird.
I'm telling you, man. Like the mindset changes.
Yeah,
just off
it
of-
changed my mindset, so I still decided just to wear pants. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not wearing khakis every day, but it's still like I would like to wear pants and like feel like I'm dressed to be productive.
Correct.
So
I remember people. You should have Jesse tell you this story. I remember we were in class and he showed up with jeans,
Oh,
and the teacher literally reamed him out and kicked him out of the class, like, in front of everybody, like just like reamed him out. It's crazy. Yeah.
it's
A
crazy.
little bit of a rebel, right?
well, now if I wear jeans to class, those are the pants I go to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I wear jeans every day. So
They're probably like,
that's
"Oh, you got
changed.
jeans instead of pajamas." Like, all
Yeah.
right, we're happy now. Could have been worse.
True.
But yeah. So, say that question one more time.
Just how has your faith in everything impacted you with your businesses, with like leading them, and how have you like shared the gospel through your business and worked in those ways?
Sure.
However you want to take it. In that
Yeah.
sense.
So, you know, our employees know that, you know, I'm a Christian. I don't make any bones about it. But I think it's more important to like kind of show it in your actions and how you treat people, because some people say they're Christian but they treat people poorly, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
you ain't being a good example, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Christian in name only type. But for us, it's again, like I said, like paying people well. Number one.
Mhm.
But number two, like being flexible. So like for us, if a dude got like, you know, his kids get sick or you know, somebody has to go to the hospital or whatever, like or it could be just like, you know, it's a birthday, can I have a day off, whatever like that. Like we are really flexible and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, man, we can find somebody to do your job. You ain't got to don't show up. You know what I mean? Go do your thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of companies are just, they don't care about the fact that this is a human. They
Yeah.
got a life
Mm.
too. Like this ain't, most people are doing the job as a means to an end. Like I'm doing this so I got the money to actually live my actual real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to respect that. 'Cause at the end of the day, they're going to pick their real life or their family over you when the push
True.
comes to shove.
True.
So, you know, instead of making them make that choice, you know, try to put it inside a framework to where they can do both. You know what I mean? Where you can kind of facilitate, hey man, go take care of your family. You know, we'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Mhm.
And they respect that. And loyalty is a huge deal to me, bro. So if a person's gonna be loyal to us, we're gonna be loyal to them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if they're not gonna be, then there's a door. But
Yeah.
you know, but we take care. We if a guy's sacrificing, you come to work every day. So think about, we're talking about logistics.
Mhm.
They're on the road every day.
Yeah.
You put your life on the line, low key. Like, you know, anything
Yeah.
can happen on that road. So you know, they're taking risks. So you got to make sure they're taken care of properly. So
Yeah. It's almost like you're making it easier for them to steward, you know, like we think of like almost like family or like your own life is like kind of the smallest form of governance that you have, right?
Mhm.
So like if you're, you know, if you're the head of your household, like you're taking care of your family, you're in charge of that. And so like you're allowing them to take care of their family as a form of their God-given stewardship obligation.
absolutely,
I think that's really cool.
yeah.
But I think I'm going to wrap up this episode
Go for it, Goober.
because we got part 2 coming up soon.
All right, man. Overtime.
With that said, where would some places that if our listeners are trying to find you, you'd suggest that they go?
So they can go to obviously T&E Logistics, www.tnelogistics.com, TANDE logistics.com.
We'll put it all in the description as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to work on my social media stuff, but so I don't really got none of that set up right now. But tnelogistics.com, or they can email me. You can put my email
LinkedIn?
and stuff. Oh, my LinkedIn, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
we'll put that up there too.
My LinkedIn is actually popping. So like, yeah. Nah,
Can't forget about that.
yeah, I'm thinking about like Instagram or Facebook, something which I don't really got. But yeah, my LinkedIn is they definitely can reach out to me there, and you know, enjoy the chat with whoever
Awesome.
can help.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Close us out. Red Rocket.
Thank you so much. It's been a great part 1 talking with Travis Smith, diving into most of his background, VIP waste services, and the beginning of T&E logistics. We'll be back with episode 2 and part 2 coming in the following week. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
See ya.